Hi everyone, welcome to Hey You Positive One, the channel where stories breathe hope into your soul. Today, we bring you the journey of a woman who's more than just beautiful. A woman who faced the noise of the world with silence, pressure with elegance, and setbacks with strength. This is not just the story of Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, it is a reminder that grace is power, and resilience is beauty. She wasn't born into fame. No filmy background. No connections. Just a middle-class girl with big dreams and a heart full of determination. Born in Mangalore and raised in Mumbai, Aishwarya Rai was a bright student, fluent in multiple languages, and deeply interested in academics. She wanted to become a doctor, later pivoted to architecture, always grounded, always focused. Her entry into modeling wasn't a lifelong dream. It was an opportunity, and she made it count. Each photo shoot was not about being seen, but about being remembered. And soon, people did remember. They saw something in her that couldn't be ignored. In 1994, when she stepped onto the global stage for the Miss World pageant, something magical happened. She wasn't just a contestant. She was calm, composed, articulate. And when asked what qualities Miss World should embody, she didn't speak about physical appearance. She spoke of compassion, kindness, and the strength to carry responsibility with humility. She won. Not just the crown, but the respect of millions. And yet, even with the world at her feet, she didn't lose herself. She once said in an interview, "Life is a stage, and you cannot be forever performing. You must know who you are when the lights are off."
Her foray into cinema was not greeted with open arms. Yes, she was Miss World, yes, she was stunning, but the film industry can be ruthless. Her first few films didn't succeed. Critics questioned her talent. People dismissed her as just a model. But Aishwarya didn't fight back with words. She let her work speak. She didn't rely on shortcuts, didn't play politics. She simply improved. She studied acting. She worked harder. She was rejected, misunderstood, but she showed up anyway. Then came Hum Dil De Chuk Sanam. Her performance left audiences stunned. Emotional depth, vulnerability, passion. Followed by Devdas, Raincoat, Tall, Jodha Akbar. One by one, she crafted a legacy with characters that lived on. Her journey taught us, if they doubt you, don't argue. Let your excellence be the answer. But she didn't stop at national borders. Aishwarya Rai became one of the first mainstream Bollywood actresses to enter global cinema. She acted in English-language films like Bride and Prejudice, where she balanced East and West with grace. In The Mistress of Spices, she brought an ethereal calm to a deeply cultural story. In Provoked, she portrayed the painful journey of a domestic violence survivor, a role that earned her critical acclaim for its raw intensity. And in The Pink Panther 2, she brought elegance and flair to a Hollywood comedy alongside Steve Martin. She didn't just act, she represented. She walked red carpets at Cannes long before it was fashionable. She became the face of L'Oreal, representing India in the beauty industry with poise and dignity. She was on Oprah. She was interviewed by David Letterman. She sat across global icons and held her own with grace. But what makes this journey motivational is not just the glamour. It's the courage. The courage to walk into unknown lands, face unfamiliar audiences, and still choose to be yourself. She never tried to dilute her Indianness to fit in. She wore saris on international red carpets. She spoke with conviction about her roots. In every frame, she reminded the world, you can be truly global and still remain proudly local. Your cult to her global journey is a lesson for anyone who feels small in a big world. You don't have to shrink to fit in. You can rise and take your culture with you. Behind the glamorous image was a woman who had her heart broken. Her personal life dragged through headlines, and her silence interpreted as weakness. Her relationship with Salman Khan ended in controversy. She faced humiliation in the media, open threats, and uncomfortable questions. But Aishwarya didn't give the tabloids what they wanted. She didn't cry on camera. She didn't create drama. She carried herself with grace and dignity. She protected her peace. Her strength wasn't in her beauty. It was in her silence, her restraint, her power to walk away with her head held high. Aishwarya became one of the first Indian actresses to go global. Cannes Film Festival, Hollywood movies, international brand endorsements. She stood shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. And yet, she remained proudly Indian in every walk, every word, every sari she wore on a foreign stage. She once said, "No matter where life takes me, my roots are in India. My values are Indian." In a world that often asks women to change to fit in, Aishwarya reminded us, you don't have to fit in when you were born to stand out.
She married Abhishek Bachchan in 2007. Soon after, her priorities shifted, but not her passion. She didn't just step into the role of a wife and later a mother. She embraced it with the same grace and intensity that defined her entire journey. When her daughter Aradhya was born in 2011, Aishwarya Rai chose to take a step back from the limelight. In an industry that often judges women for taking time off, she stood firm. She wasn't chasing headlines anymore. She was holding her baby, giving her the most precious gift of all, presence. No nannies parading in public. No outsourcing of motherhood. She carried Aradhya in her arms, protected her fiercely, and made it clear that family wasn't just a part of her life, it was her center. And yet, the media was quick to question her silence. They said her career was over. That she'd lost her place. That she'd sacrificed her stardom. But Aishwarya didn't fight back. She didn't explain. She didn't need to. Because she knew, taking time for your child is not a setback, it's a strength. She later returned to the screen, not for fame, not to prove a point, but because she wanted to. On her terms. In her time. She showed the world that being a devoted mother and being a powerful woman can exist in the same story. That you don't have to give up one dream to live another. That the quiet moments of motherhood are just as powerful as the loud applause of fame. She once said, "When I became a mother, it wasn't a pause. It was a transformation. And I embraced it completely." In every public appearance with Aradhya, you don't just see a superstar, you see a mother who leads by example. Calm, kind, protective. Not teaching her daughter to chase the world, but to stand strong in her own values.
Aishwarya has supported multiple charities. Eye donation drives, cancer foundations, women and child welfare programs. She is a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations and has quietly worked behind the scenes to uplift lives. But she doesn't speak about her philanthropy often, because true kindness, she believes, doesn't need cameras.
Aishwarya Rai's story is not about fame. It's about becoming unbreakable in a world that tries to bend you. It's about not shouting to be heard, but letting your silence echo power. It's about falling and still standing taller. It's about wearing your crown, not on your head, but in your heart. Her journey teaches us, you don't have to be loud to be powerful. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You just have to believe in your purpose and show up every single day. Because in the end, beauty fades. But character, that lives forever. If you've been doubted, if you've been judged too quickly, if the world has tried to define you by how you look, what you've lost, or where you've come from, let this story remind you, you are more than their expectations. You are more than their labels. And like Aishwarya, you can rise, with elegance, with integrity, with unstoppable fire. If this story moved you, like the video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their worth, and subscribe to Hey You Positive One for more real stories of strength and grace. Until next time, keep rising, keep shining, keep becoming.